Tuesday. It is Tuesday, the 27th day of June, 178th day of the year. There are 187 days remaining in this year. And welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Thom. Well, it's the 4th of July week, I guess you could call it. And it's 4th of July is just around the corner, so it's next Tuesday, in fact. Fireworks, parades, barbecues, carnivals, picnics, fairs, concerts, short pants we used to get on 4th of July days when I was little, baseball games, family reunions, ceremonies, political speeches, unfortunately, and whatever you have, your taste, and a celebration of the history, government, and traditions of the United States. So if you're going to be traveling, let me tell you, the best day to travel, the busiest day to travel is the Friday before the 4th of July weekend. If you're flying this Friday, you can expect the airports to be full. The worst travel day ahead of this days ahead of the 4th of July is expected to be this Thursday and Friday. When you're flying home next week, Wednesday, July 5th, it's one of the cheapest days. Wednesday is one of the cheapest days to fly year round. Plus, according to the TSA's data, July 5th has been a consistently light travel day. So have fun this week, and this week and next week. So our G-List guest today is Carol Rhoden. Carol is an author of children's books who recently received the Literacy Award by I See Me Inc. This award is for an adult author who has written a mirror book that represents Black, Indigenous, people of color. A mirror book reflects the reader's own race, culture, family, and religion, and helps to build a positive identity for the reader. Oh yeah, she's also a coach. We look forward to hearing from her. Our show today is sponsored by the Best Girl Consulting Firm. Best Girl, let's hear from Best Girl.
Best Girl is a consulting firm that provides customized leadership, access and inclusion, public relations, communications, and organizational consulting services. Clients include Fortune 500 companies, utilities, higher education institutions, small businesses, and associations. Best Girl's team of consultants, led by Joyce Gilly-Gossam, Emily Hedrick, and Sean Jones, partners with business and education clients to promote organizational effectiveness, communication, motivation, and leadership, with always an impact on the bottom line. Best Girl's customized consulting services include strategic planning, corporate communication, executive coaching, fundraising, and economic development.
Best Girl creates the solutions that fit your needs. So let's get to our roundtable regulars and introduce Barbara Wallace Edwards and Michael Walker. I'm going to start with Barbara Wallace Edwards. Barbara, how are you? What's happening in your world?
Good morning, Thom. How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
Good. I'm doing well. I want to start this morning by sending congratulations to the LSU Tigers, the College World Series winners on last night. They beat Florida.
I don't think just beat them; they stomped on them.
I was going to say, what, it was 18-4 or something was the score?
I just saw the score this morning and I thought, goodness gracious.
Yeah, they did. They started the season as preseason as number one and ended the season as number one. So congratulations.
Oh, did they? Okay. I didn't know they started as number one.
Yeah, they've had a great season. So we want to wish those LSU Tigers.
Well, I'll have to go around and see my friend Stacy today. He's a Florida man. And matter of fact, he and his daughter went to the first game.
Oh, okay.
I know he's not real happy about it.
I bet they're not real happy about that.
It's one thing to get beat. It's another to get stomped on like that.
But we talked about it. The first two games were sort of close. LSU won that first game, and Florida came back and won the second game in that series. And those two games were pretty close, but this one it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Okay. What else you got, Barbara?
I want to also offer congratulations to Lindsey Harding. She has been named the head coach of the Stockton Kings, the first Black female head coach in NBA G League history. So that's major.
Oh, now make sure you clarify that so people know, because the G League is men, right? So
Yes,
she's
it
coaching
is.
men. Good
She's
deal.
coaching men. Absolutely.
That's great.
That
Good.
is huge.
And I think you went to Harvey's funeral. Can
I
you
did.
talk about it for a second?
I did. It was an absolutely beautiful homegoing service for our dear friend Harvey Glantz on Saturday down in Phoenix City, Alabama. And I want to say thanks to all of our Auburn alum. We had a huge representation there. A lot of Harvey's classmates, former athletes that were at Auburn. The president of the university, Chris Roberts, was there. Um, Several of the um, athletes that Harvey had coached at Auburn were also there, and it could have been others there as well. You know, several people he worked with on the Olympic level. Edward Moses spoke, and Ronaldo Nehemiah spoke at the services. Harvey's high school track coach was there and spoke. So it was absolutely beautiful service.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Before I go to Michael, because we got a little special thing with Michael. You got anything else, Barbara?
I just want to say, people, please be careful out here in the heat. Before the show started, we were talking about how hot it is everywhere. They've actually issued warnings in Dallas and other places about the heat index this week. I think there's actually an advisory until this evening in the Dallas area, and possibly even further into the week. They are expecting temperatures to rise to 115 degrees, and that's just unbearable. So please make sure you stay hydrated if you're going out, and stay in as much as you possibly can.
I don't know what it was yesterday, but it was hot,
It
buddy.
was
I'll tell
hot.
you
It was
that.
hot here as
Woo!
well.
And the wind was blowing, and it was just blowing hot air around.
Yes,
You know, it
absolutely.
was.
I talked to my brother last night who lives in Mobile, and his air conditioning was out. I was like, oh
Oh
my
my
God, of
goodness.
all the times, you might want to go check into a hotel or somewhere, because, yeah, that was unbearable.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't even
Yeah,
imagine. As a matter
me
of fact,
either.
I got a little fan on over there now that I use in the office here. So, anyway, well, good deal. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you went to Harvey's thing. I'm glad it was so
Yes,
well attended. You
yes,
know, Harvey was. I left before Harvey got there, and so probably didn't know him nearly as well as you guys uh,
yeah,
did. Uh, just knew him from his track exploits, and then from our event last fall where he spoke, and
absolutely.
um,
And I'm
just
just, again, I'm so
knocked it out.
grateful that we had an opportunity to hear him speak at that James Owens Foundation breakfast back in November, and having him on the Tuesdays with Thom show just 3 weeks ago now is it was just heaven sent, because we're just grateful that we had an opportunity to hear his story and help him get his story out there. That's great.
Yeah, good deal. All right, let's get Michael Walker on here. Michael Walker, where are you?
Good morning, TG. Good morning, Barbara. I'm coming to you live from the Big Easy, as they call it. You know, I came down, I'm in New Orleans. For those that do not know, that New Orleans is also known as the Big Easy. Not too long ago, I referred to New Orleans as the Big Easy, and they said, well, now it's the Big Sleazy. So whichever one you want to go with.
New Orleans is pretty cool. I like New
Yeah, I
Orleans.
do too.
Yes, yes,
You
a
know,
lot of history and tradition.
we did a family thing down there a couple of years ago, and you know me, I rented a bicycle, man. I rode all over New Orleans. You
Oh,
know,
man. And all this traffic and stuff, and those little
well, I
narrow
would go
streets.
out early in the morning.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, I
good.
go out early in the morning, and then me and one of my little grandson, and we just rode all over, man. You know,
Yeah.
and he didn't. You know, I used to ride in Los Angeles, so I know how to ride with the traffic.
Right.
Okay.
You know, and he was in the middle of the street. I said, man, you got to get out the middle of the street. You're going to get killed out here.
That was dangerous.
Oh, Papa will be all right. Well, no, your mama will be pretty mad at me
Right.
if something happens to you out here.
Well, I got to ask this question. Did you have your helmet on?
No. But,
That's not good either,
I
Thom.
started wearing I didn't have it with me, but I started wearing my helmet. I hate to wear it, but it's the safe thing to do. So I rode this morning and I had my helmet on. So
That's good.
So Michael, what's going on with you? I understand that congratulations are in order.
Well, I would say yes. Thank you. It's a formality. I'm here with the National Association of Benefit and Insurance Professionals. We're having our convention, and it's extra special for me because I am running to become secretary of the national organization. The significance of that is the fact that once you get into what they call the executive committee, you're in the chairs to become president of the organization. Another thing to note is that I will be the first person of color to ever be elected to the executive commission. And this organization has been around since 1930.
Wow.
You know, you and I were having a discussion a while back and about one of your friends who said that, talking about racism, and I think you made the statement that we'll know there's no more racism when we can't say, well, he's the first so-and-so to do this. She's the first so-and-so. As long as we're still on the first, that's
Right.
probably a result of systemic racism. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, I will say that in this organization, they're really trying to, so to speak, be inclusive and expand the tent. And sometimes some of us have to be the first. And it looks like I'm the one that's going to be the first to kind of open the doors. And we're having more and more people of color become involved with the association and look to get into leadership positions. As a matter of fact, a young man signed up for and note this, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And our organization is not changing it to say inclusive excellence. It's DEI, and they're sticking with it. But he's a young man from North Carolina, and he was on the committee to be brought in for DEI, but I noticed he was just like a member at large. And at the top of it, I saw that the vice chair of the committee said to be determined. And when I looked at it, I said, well, if we have a brother here that's African American and he's on this list to be on the committee and they already have a chairperson, why shouldn't he be vice chair? And I went to the person who was responsible for naming a vice chair and I talked to her about it. And that's basically what I said. I said, you know, you need to have somebody from that segment of the population that had experienced certain experiences from a DEI perspective to be in a leadership position on this committee. And I'd like for you to consider my friend. And she said, sure, I agree with that. So I introduced him last night at the Black Tie Fair, and right on the spot, she made him the vice chair. And he told me,
Great.
yes.
Well,
great.
you know, I'll just say this. You and I have I've been knowing you a long time, but we've been in the, I don't know what you want to call it. We've been in the whatever it is to make progress in America. And when I graduated college, I got a job at Bell South doing recruiting. This is just an incredible story. And I recruited the colleges throughout the Southeast, management employees. And you and I got together some kind of way. And, you know, we gave a test. Wasn't really relevant to doing doing your job. I thought it was relevant to eliminate people. But man, you came in, you rocked that interview, you passed that test. It was awesome. And so I got in touch with the people in marketing, and I said, this is a guy, man, you could hire today. This guy's fantastic. The guy in charge, the district manager, called me up. He said, Thom, this guy is phenomenal. I can't believe you found him. This guy is great. He says, you know, when we get a black slot, we're going to hire him. But
Wow.
we can't hire him till we get a black slot.
That's
It's
sad.
like, oh man. And then I had to call you up, and I told you exactly what they said. I said,
Yeah.
You
man,
did.
they want to hire you, but they want to wait till they get a black slide. I said, I'm sorry.
That is sad. And that was
Yeah,
what year was that? Was that 1980,
that
79, 80?
was
Yes, right
somewhere
about
around
that
there.
time. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was incredible.
Yeah.
So Michael, is this regional or is this national? Or?
This is national. This is
Great.
national.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
Yeah.
Michael, that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something kind of funny. When I came out on the stage, and I had a friend of mine who is a huge Alabama fan to introduce me, and there was also another guy that was also. I was going to have two people introduce me: a former or a past president of the National Association who is also a huge Alabama fan, but he couldn't be here, so I just had Paige. And when I walked out on the stage, I said, you know, who would have thought that two of the biggest Alabama fans in the world would support an Auburn man for anything? And so I said, what was I thinking? I said, you know, there are Alabama fans that if Auburn were playing Russia in football, they root for Russia. So everybody started laughing about that, which is true. You guys know I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
You know, but
Yes.
the fact that I was being, you know, nominated, introduced, and supported by Alabama fans here in this association, and everybody know that I'm an Auburn guy, it was kind of phenomenal. And I was just
that says a lot.
Yes, it does. You know, I say that's some climate change for you right there. Everybody talking about climate change. And the speech went well. I actually did a video on the on-med station, what Auburn has done, because I'm trying to move the association forward and say we need to do things in the community. I say as an association that's in healthcare, we need to go into the rural areas and put in an on-med station or some other type of mobile station utilizing technology to bring access to the underserved communities. Everybody knew what I was talking about. And it's been the talk of the convention because they had never seen it. They're like, oh, Michael, this is great. And I will tell you something that was really interesting, Thom. After I spoke, one lady, she's, I don't know, probably in her late 70s, early 80s, she came up to me, she said, you know, you are such a good speaker. The politicians could learn something from you. The way you delivered and you spoke with such positivity and talked about the future and not the past. She said they could learn something from you, both the Republicans and the Democrats. You ought to be a politician. And I just kind of laughed about it and said, well, you just don't know what my history is when it comes to that. And when I finished up, I tried to inspire them because we're changing our leadership. And, you know, I say, you know, change is also a reason for people to have some uncomfortableness. I say, but let's embrace the moment, accept the challenge, take advantage of the opportunity. I say, it's showtime, David. Let's make it happen. And that's the way I ended.
Oh, here, Michael. All right. Sounds good. Barbara, you got anything else for us?
I want to say congratulations also to the Birmingham Stallions team. They're playing in the championship game this coming weekend against the Pittsburgh Maulers. And if Birmingham is successful, this would be their second consecutive championship in the USFL. So I'm rooting for our Stallions.
Good.
Well, Barbara, wasn't we had the Stallions in the World Football League, wasn't it, Thom?
There was another league with the Birmingham Stallions. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did they win in that league as well?
I don't know if they ever won the championship.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have to go
Okay.
back and
You know,
look
there's
and
been
see.
3-4 leagues, and I don't
Right.
even know which league it was. It the World League?
Because it was the USFL. I'm not sure, Michael. I have to go back and look that up.
It may have been USFL, but it was one of them, you know. And I think Freddie even played on that. Freddie Smith, I think he played on the Birmingham Stallion, the first iteration of the Birmingham Stallion.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Michael, you got anything else for us?
Well, just a couple things. You know, the last time we talked about the Titan and the submersible, and they were lost at sea, you know, and as we found out that it imploded. One of the things that I found interesting as I've read about this is that this was made out of fiber carbon, and titanium, not metal like submarines are made. And there was a guy that had tried to encourage this owner of the vessel, and I guess you could say the inventor, to do like 50 more dives and make sure that it met the certifications. And he refused to do so, saying that was a waste of time. And he had this saying that, you'll be remembered for the rules that you do not follow and obey. And he wanted to take shortcuts. He seemed to be someone that was, well, for lack of a better term, somewhat egotistical, I'll say.
Arrogant.
And now he is famous for being on the list of inventors that were killed by their inventions.
Yeah. It's
there were so many warnings. They should have taken heed, because I think that one of the engineers that worked on the project had many warnings for them saying, this is not ready, and they ended up firing the guy because he spoke out against it. So
what I can't believe is the father took his son down there and pretty much made him go.
Yeah.
Because it was Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
19 years old.
If you want to be with me, you got to go on this, because this is what I'm going to do on Father's Day.
Yeah.
It's sad. Okay, Michael, Barbara, you got anything else? All right, I want to go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just going to say, on a lighter note, there's a guy by the name of Thom. He's a car dealer, consultant. He has flown 23 million miles on United Airlines. He has helped them craft their menus. And the reason being is he bought a lifetime pass with United Airlines for $290,000. And he has been on 120 honeymoons with his wife and visited over 100 countries. So he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for flights.
And he bought a what from United? What's
a lifetime pass?
I didn't even know that was something they sold.
I guess so, for $290,000, and he's saying it's the best investment he ever made.
So he can just go get on a plane when he gets ready?
Yes, go wherever he wants to go.
Interesting.
All right.
He's been on how many honeymoons?
120 honeymoons.
Okay.
And has visited 100 countries.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Well, Michael, we want to congratulate you again on your being the secretary of the association. So let's give Michael a hand, Sean.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anything else from you and Barb?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Can you do one of those lifetime things on your charge card?
I don't know about that. I don't know that. But I tell you what, Thom, Joyce just said we need one of those, Thom.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Okay. Let's go to Sean. She's got a minute for us.
Good morning to everyone joining in with us. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute. It's summertime, and in my part of the world, that means it's sun, sandy beaches, random rain, and lots of travel. Speaking of travel, after 59 years, the iconic Route 66 enters the realm of history. Measuring some 2,200 miles in its heyday, Route 66 stretched from Chicago, Illinois, to Santa Monica, California, passing through 8 states. The idea of building a highway along this route surfaced in Oklahoma in the mid-1920s as a way to link state to cities. In 1926, the highway earned its official designation as Route 66. Now, Before I go, here on Tuesdays with Thom, we love to celebrate everyone's achievements. And with that being said, I'd like to say congratulations to our very own Michael Walker, who has a campaign to become the Secretary of National Association of Benefits and Professionals. Michael is the first person of color to be elected as an officer of the association and positioned to become the first person of color to assume the office of Presidential National Association Benefits and Professionals. Congratulations to our 1/3 of the Roundtable Tripod. Thank you all for joining in. My name is Shantia Jones, and this has Got a Minute.
Let me just say thank you, Thom, Barbara, Shantia Jones, and the Best Girl family, as well as our listeners. And I've had a lot of people comment and say congratulations. So thank you all for the well wishes. I really appreciate it.
I didn't know anything about that part. How much did you slip Sean for that?
That's between Sean and I.
All right. Okay, well, let's go to the G list. Hollywood has the A list. And here on Tuesdays with Thom, we have the G list. And our G list guest today is Rhoden. Karen is a veteran educator with over 18 years of teaching in the classroom. She's also a championship basketball coach and was named the Female Athlete of the Year for the state of Alabama in 2017 by the Alabama State Association of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. She's also a #1 best-selling author, highly sought-after motivation speaker. So let's welcome Carol Rhoden. Carol, welcome this morning.
Thank you so much, Thom, for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming. How is everything?
Everything is well in Birmingham. It's very, very hot right now, but all is well.
So let's start off with just having you tell us a little bit of your story.
I was raised in the Yes, sir. I was raised in the city of Birmingham by a single mother by the name of Sandra Smith Pullen. She was a phenomenal woman, homemaker. I attended Birmingham City Schools up until my sophomore year after my mom passed away of breast cancer. And I transferred to Fairfield High School, where I played my junior and my senior year. Had a lot of success there. Just had a passion for the game of basketball, and one of the best players to ever come through the state of Alabama, even still today. I went to junior college for 2 years, which is now Gulf Coast State College in Panama City Beach, Florida, under Mary Scoville and Grover T. Hicks. I played 2 years there, had a lot of success, junior college player of the year, Kodak All-American 2 years, just a lot of success on that level. And after finishing, I transferred to Auburn University, where I played up under then head coach Joe Champy for 2 years, and just had a phenomenal time during my stint at Auburn University as a basketball player and as a student.
Did you? What position did you play?
Thom, I played the shooting guard. I can put the basketball in the hole. Yes.
I remember that.
I played some point guard, but I can score. And even though I'm 5'3", I can put the basketball in the hole. And still today, I can put the basketball in the hole, Thom.
Well, tell us about how you got interested in writing, being a novelist.
Well, I'm a member of St. Paul AME Church, and if anybody is familiar with the way the AME churches are, periodically the pastors would change. And we had a new incoming pastor by the name of Brian Blackwell, and his wife actually talked to me about becoming an author. And quite honestly, it was something that I never knew that I would do or even have the opportunity to do. But once she explained the process and I explained my story of everything that I went through as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, and being able to succeed in what I wanted to do, and even becoming an educator, she said, you have a story to tell, and we need to tell that story. And so we were able to put it in a children's book called Carol's Dream.
Oh, good deal. So you were raised by a single mom, and then your mom passed while you were still in high school.
Yes. My mother passed away in 1995. I noticed that she wasn't moving around, as much as she would usually do. At the time, she was working at Milo's, and she would come home from work around 4, and she would sleep throughout the night. Now, as a child, things are kind of changing in your home. But I noticed, like I said, her movements was a little bit different. So my 9th grade year, in May, she explained to my sister and I that she had breast cancer. And school was about to get out, and so we were flabbergasted. We understood, why she was moving different, and she had lost a lot of weight. That was in May, and October 16th of that same year, she passed away of breast cancer. So that was a trying time for my family, and it was a traumatic experience. But quite honestly, it was an experience that I'll never forget. But it has given me purpose in my life, despite everything that I've been through, and even losing her.
Okay. So, but apparently you kept on keeping on. You were Miss Basketball, named Miss Basketball in Birmingham. You were the National Junior College Player of the Year. Yeah, I would say you were pretty motivated.
Absolutely. My grandmother actually took my sister, my older sister, St. Shell, and my brother Ted in. Now, my grandmother had already raised 13 children of her own. But for her to take us in and to embrace us, and to just love us unconditionally, I just tip my hat off to her, even to this day. She passed away in 2015, but even to this day, those seeds that she has sown in me, we're reaping a harvest, and I'm continuing to replant in those kids that I come in contact with every day and every time I get a chance to speak.
And that's a big thing for you, passing things on, passing it on to the kids. I noticed that's in a lot of your bio information. But you believe in inspiring those that come behind you.
Absolutely. God has given me a platform, and it's not for me to get praise and glory. It's to glorify Him. It didn't take me out, and so it didn't take me out. It gives me an opportunity to sow seeds. You reap what you sow, and so whatever I can plant into children and people that I talk to about being the best version of themselves, that's what I intend to do, and that's what I'm doing even today. I also let them know that things are not perfect. There's a lot of trials and tribulations in this world. But the Word of God says for us to continue to plant seeds. And if we plant seeds, we'll reap a harvest if we faint not. It's so difficult to not faint, to get tired, to want to give up. But it will be a harvest if we continue to plant those seeds in faith, by faith, by faith, by faith.
Okay. Let me get Barbara here to ask a question. Barbara?
Yes. Good morning, Carolyn. Thank you so much for joining us today. I remember you playing in Auburn and here in Birmingham as well, at Fairfield High School. I saw you all play quite often, and you were a phenomenal player. And now you have an opportunity to coach, and you're an educator. Talk about that and your experience as an educator and what age groups you're working with.
I actually teach at a K-8 school where I'm able to minister to children in kindergarten as well as in the 8th grade. My focus is more so on 5th grade through 8th grade, just because those are the classes that I teach on a daily basis. I didn't understand my gift as it relates to basketball. I thought it was about accomplishing awards. I thought it was about, going out there and just having those lights on and putting up as many points as you can. But when I became a basketball coach, I realized why God gave me this gift is to continue to take that gift and bless other people with intent. It's especially children and kids just like me, who have dreams of and aspirations of going to college and doing amazing things. I can take the game of basketball, get their attention, and if need be, cross them over here and there. And then once I get their attention, I'm able to minister to them and let them know that God has given them a gift, and is to use that gift to glorify Him. And that gift may not be athletics. It may be singing, it may be dancing. They may love the arts, and whatever they love to do, whatever gift or talent they have that God has placed inside of them is to glorify Him. And so as much as I love to coach, I love to minister to kids with intent.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Michael?
Well, good morning, Carol, and thank you for being with us today. I have to say, you brought in a little basketball lingo there, talking about the crossover and all of that. So you like breaking ankles in. That's what you're telling me, right?
Absolutely, Michael. Every opportunity that I get, yes, I do. Because I'm getting older. So keep in mind, I've been in this for 18 years. So I have kids who have come back and literally rolled the basketball out and said, it's my turn. And so they challenge me even up to this day because they remember what I did to them when they were a little bit younger. Absolutely.
I can't help but notice the picture over your right shoulder there with you dribbling the ball. Have you heard of Muggsy Bogues?
I have. Muggsy Bogues was amazing. Phenomenal ball player, phenomenal ball handler, and was not scared of giants. And me being the same, being short, I had a lot of trials and tribulations on basketball courts, especially in the inner city of Birmingham, where we play on asphalt. And so when you come out as a 5'3" female, oh my goodness, you got to bring your A game, or they are going to put you in the post and post you up. And they will be relentless and then talk trash all together. So yes, very familiar with Muggsy Bogues. Yes.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this. What was your go-to move?
My go-to move was actually an in and out move with my right hand. So I would go in and out. Once you went to the left, then I cross you back over to the right. One hard dribble, and then I was knocking it down, going left. And it still works for me today. It still works today.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So tell us about I See Me Inc.
Oh, I See Me Inc. is a phenomenal organization that understands that we have to have representation in the books that children that look just like you and I read every single day. The whole concept is that they want to take the school to prison pipeline and they want to totally dismantle that. They want to end that, and they want to do it through literacy. And to me, that's the gap, that's the bridge that's going to connect these kids to everything that they want to accomplish in life, through reading as much as they can, becoming great students. But it's going to come through literacy. And that's what I See Me is all about, representation, seeing myself in these books. That's very important.
It's sponsored by Books A Million, and I see that you recently won the I See Me Inc. Literary Award.
Yes, I was awarded with that award this past Wednesday by I See Me. We had a beautiful reception, and I just talked candidly about my book, Carol's Dream. It's a children's book, but it talks about everything that I went through as a child in the city of Birmingham. My ultimate goal was to go to college on a basketball scholarship. And so being able to put my life story in a book so children of all ages can read my book and be inspired to say, you know what, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I thank I See Me for giving me an opportunity to receive the award, but just the acknowledgement to say, I see what you're doing, continue. And that has motivated me so much.
Anybody in the audience is interested in Carol's Dream, where can they get a copy of it?
Carol's Dream can be found on Amazon. It can be found on Amazon. or they can message me, Coach Carol Rhoden .com, and I can mail them a copy as well. But it can be found on Amazon.
Okay, good deal. Barbara, you got another question?
I do. And Carol, I want to thank you for my autographed copy of Carol's Dream. I have read it several times, and it's a phenomenal book. But is there a certain age group that you targeted in your book, or did you find a certain age group that the book is designed for?
So the age group is designed for 2nd grade up to 8th grade. And I say 8th grade because I released the book in 2020. And that was a time that a lot of us were trying to figure out if we were going to live or we were going to survive. And so the book didn't get a lot of traction because of COVID. And now it's getting a lot of traction. We have, I guess, opened the world back up per se. But now people are reading the book and they are becoming inspired by the book. And so now it's giving me an opportunity to share my story with so many people.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Michael?
Yes, Carol, I want to ask you this question, and you've made a statement about faith several times, and you talk about keeping the faith. Tell me, what's your definition of faith? Because a lot of people say, keep the faith, or I was led by faith. So explain to me and the audience what faith is to you.
The Word of God says that we cannot please God without faith. So by faith, everything happens. We are here by faith. But it also says faith without works is absolutely dead. So if you believe that you want to accomplish something, or you believe that God has given you a dream and you want to pursue it, you have to, with everything in you, you have to sow seeds with intent. And you have to believe that you're going to reap a harvest, but you have to believe it and you have to put the work behind it. And without faith, you can do absolutely nothing. With him, all things are possible. And without him, we can do absolutely nothing. So yes, we can believe all day. I'm going to be everything that I've been called to be. But until I put the work in behind it, I'm not going to accomplish that. So I believe that they have to understand that faith without works is dead. You got to put the work in.
Great. Fantastic. The other thing, and people are talking smack in the comment section because I asked you about your go-to move and stuff, and want to know if I'm challenging you and want to see us go one-on-one. And so let me just put it out there. No, I'm not challenging you, but my best days are way behind me. So I have to take you in the weight room and challenge you now. So, I'm gonna play on the field I know I can win, because I don't like losing, But let me ask you, go ahead.
I was going to tell you, a game of horse wouldn't be a bad thing, Michael. I wouldn't cross you over. We can play a game of horse, or we can play out, but I'm still going to win. I promise you I'm going to win.
Would you take it easy on him, Carol?
I would not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, Carol, you're pretty competitive too, aren't you?
All right, now don't talk too much smack. You'll make me reach back and turn back the hands of time.
We may have to have a shootout on here live on TWT.
Absolutely.
What I'd like to ask you, how has the game of basketball changed since you played? Because we're having so much change now in basketball, and now a lot of teams are playing what they call positionless basketball. There's no identifying position for any players, where back in the day, you got a point guard, you got the shooting guard, power forward, and all that, and the center. But now it's like everybody plays everything. So how do you see the basketball game change in your opinion, and especially with women?
I love the transformation of the game. I like the fact that everybody has to be able to play every position. I think that makes you a little bit more marketable when it's time to be recruited, or when it's time to get on the court and be able to play. You can't just be a center. You got to be able to put the ball on the floor and dribble. We also have centers now who can shoot the 3 ball pretty good. So I think it gives basketball an opportunity to be on the center stage, just like we saw this spring in the Final Four. Just seeing great basketball being played in a fundamental way. something that I think that this next generation, unfortunately, is kind of getting away from. They either want to shoot the three or they want to drive in the hole. But the 15-foot game is just, it's a lost art. But that 15-foot game equals what I call a walking NIL, or it equals a scholarship. So we got to get back to the fundamentals of the game, ball handling, dribbling, being able to go left consistently if you are right hand dominant, those things. But I think that the way that the game is transitioning right now, I love it, and it is beautiful. And just the opportunity that these kids are getting for an NIL deal, oh my goodness, that is a blessing, a blessing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I take it you didn't have, well, you know, I didn't have NIL. I assume you didn't either.
I did not. I didn't have an opportunity for an NIL. No, it was a full basketball scholarship, and that's what you were getting. Yep.
Coming out of high school and having the success you had in high school, but also having the drama that you had in high school, the thing. What pushed you to go? Did you think you would get a scholarship? Did you think you'd be able to play on the college level?
Absolutely. I always knew that I would play on the college level. Quite honestly, it was a matter of what college that I was going to attend. You know, statistically, I wasn't supposed to get out of the projects just because I was raised in a single parent home in the inner city of Birmingham. Not only that, being an African-American female, it just statistically, it wasn't in my favor, but I had a gift and I had a talent, and that just drove me. And then after losing my mom, but having my grandmother there to support me in every aspect, and not having any money. I mean, just being point blank, like, we didn't have a lot. And so when it was time to lace those sneakers up, it was time to go to that blacktop. That was my ticket out of the projects. And I thank God for that gift that he gave me that opened up so many doors. And even to this day, that gift is continuing to open up doors for me.
There, I got a obituary notice from this guy. He lived in my suite in the dorm. He was from Georgia. He played tight end, I think. And he showed up on campus, I mean, with a brand new car, brand new clothes, the whole bit. And it just, what it did was it drove me, you know, to go further, because he had a little bit of everything, but he wasn't going to get my job, you know. I made sure of that. So, and you're right. It is a different thing with the NIL. You know, we got $15 a month, and you know, things were a lot less expensive then. So $15 might last you a little while, but it wouldn't last you a month, I can tell you.
Yeah.
So, Carol, do you have anything else you want to tell us before we leave?
I would like to tell people, if God has given you a gift or a talent and it seems like it's too late or it seems like it's not going to come to pass, I want to tell them to continue to pursue that dream. If they have hope, if they believe, just continue to press forward and continue to sow seeds by faith, as Michael said, and just believe that it's going to come to pass. All things are possible. All things are possible. Who knew that I would be an author and a motivational speaker? But all things are possible. I just finished my second book. It's called Transforming Lives Through God's Word, and it can be found on Amazon as well. It's Life Lessons with Coach Rhoden. And every single day when my children come to class, we always have a 5-minute session of life lessons. And we talk about topics like reaping what you sow, hurt people, iron sharpens iron. And what I believe is that coming out of COVID, our children have been traumatized. And so we're in such a rush to get back to normal, and things are not normal, especially in their minds and in their hearts. A lot of them are anxious just because there's so much uncertainty right now, and even politically. So when we look at those things, Transforming Lives is a 14-day devotional, and it just takes you on a journey of saying, you know what is it in me that I can give to this next generation, and be intentional about sowing seeds into them. And so Transforming Lives, it begins day one with matters of the heart. And we say, guard your heart with all vigilance, for out of it flows the springs of life, which means every single thing that flows in me, whether I'm looking at something on social media, something on TV, if I'm reading something, even if I'm in the presence of someone that's saying something negative or positive, it is flowing through my heart. And so anything that flows through my heart is going to in turn plant seeds, and then a harvest is going to come. Is that harvest going to be a good harvest, or is it going to be a bad harvest? And so our kids are going to be recipients of that. And so if we're able to talk to our kids right now about matters of their heart, then I feel like this next generation won't be in turn blinded by social media, and everything that they see, they feel like it's true, or if it's real. They have to be able to fact check. But I also believe that if they know what the word of God is, and if it's planted in their hearts, we'll train them up in the way that they should go. And when they get older, they will not depart from it. And so that's what transforming lives through God's word is about.
So what school are you at in
I'm
Birmingham?
at WJ Christian K-8 school. WJ Christian.
Okay.
Mario Lumsey is the principal. Albert LeBlanc is the assistant principal. And so phenomenal school. I've been there 18 years. And I've only been at WJ Christian. God placed me there for a reason.
What part of town is that in? Where is
That's
that in town?
in the Roebuck area. That's in
Okay.
the east side of Birmingham. Yes.
That's far from where I grew up. I grew up close to Roebuck. So yeah, I will say this. I don't know. Whatever you do, you are going to be successful. I met you at an event in Auburn for Black alumni, and you tracked me down.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
And I want to give you a copy of my book. And I said, oh Lord, another book. Let's see what this is. But it's wonderful. It's got a great message, and you've got a great message. And we just appreciate you being here with us this morning. So
thank you so much for having me.
Other comments for Carol?
Again,
I just want to say, Carol, go ahead. Barbara, go ahead.
Again, thank you for joining us today. You have truly inspired me. I love Carol's dream, and let me know when you're speaking again. I would love to hear you speak. You're such a motivational speaker, and so thank you for joining us today.
Yes, ditto that, and I want to say, Carol, as well, congratulations on all your accomplishments and the ones to come after that. And you're so very inspirational and challenging. You make me want to go lace up my tennis shoes and see what you have. But I'll stay in my lane right now. I know where my time is right now, but it's been a joy and a pleasure to talk to you and keep the faith.
We have a question. People want to know, how do they reach you for speaking engagements?
They can reach me createdtohoop.com. createdtohoop at gmail.com, or they can go to my website, coachcarolrhoden.com, coachcarolrhoden.com, or they can email me at createdtohoop, hoop at gmail.com.
Okay, I hope we all got that. All right. Well, let's give Carol a hand. Carol, thank you so much for being with us. All right.
Thank you for having me. Be blessed. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean, did you go to sleep? Okay. I'm going to do my closing commentary here, or as I see it. The Publix supermarket in Fort Walton Beach. At that supermarket lives a cat. I don't know the cat's name. I don't know how he got there. I don't know if he is a she, or if he's a she. He showed up outside the store one day, and he's been there ever since, either laying outside the doors or just laying across the parking lot from the store. He or she is a novelty, and people are enthralled by what I call the Publix cat. I'm going to assume she is a she. I haven't checked. She allows people to come up and rub her. She never makes an attempt to go into the store. She is cool as a cucumber. She is a hit in our neighborhood. Let's see the cat, please. Check out this photo. If you have a name for her, we're trying to think of a name for her. If you got a name for us, send it to us, please, at Sean@bestgirl.com. And for now, we're calling her the Publix cat, but Sean has given her the name of Poppy. Poppy, the Publix cat. Send it to us, and we'll certainly give the cat or Poppy, we'll give her name. All right, and that's how I see it on this June the 27th in the year 2023. That's our show for today. Now, we'll have a recap show next week on the 4th of July, which is next Tuesday, the highlights from the first 6 months of the year. So thank you for joining us. Thank Carol Rhoden for joining us. She was wonderful. She's inspirational. We appreciate her. We have thank the audience. We appreciate you. Thank our G-list guest, Carol Rhoden. Thank our sponsor, Best Girl. Thank Barbara, Sean, Emily, Joyce, Michael. And that's it for this Tuesday, June the 27th. Remember to enjoy yourself. Make every day count. Stay safe. Peace.